This tutorial is going to show you how to accurately and quickly place decals that you've created using RW Decal. So as you can see, I've got Railworks loaded up. I'm going to start off by pinning out the panels, turning on markers, and we'll change to the object view. Pin out the compass at the top, and we'll also turn on the ability to see the marker area. So I'm going to fly to the center marker for the Leeds Arches decal that you may have seen me creating in some of the other YouTube videos available. So I click my fly to button, and as you can see, we've now flown to the marker for X1, Y1 of Leeds Arches. To confirm that that's what it was, if you just press the F6 key, you can see it now has a name tag next to it, Leeds Arches X1, Y1 Center. So we'll select the miscellaneous objects from the Objects tab, and we'll scroll down till we see GE, because GE is the name given at the start of all decals created by RW Decal. The reason why I've just created the center marker is that it's by far easiest just to use the center marker to line up decals than it actually is to use the corner markers. I'll show you how this works. So if I click the Leeds Arches X1 Y1 decal and then bring it onto the screen, as I move that about, you can see that my cursor is in the exact center of that decal. So when you first select a decal in Railworks, your cursor is always exactly in the middle. Now if we have a marker that shows me where the middle of the decal should be, and if I know my cursor is in the middle of the decal, then all I have to do is place my cursor arrow exactly over the center marker, and the F6 key turning on the naming helps me because the the grey triangle you can see on top of the flag shows me the exact point where that marker is. So I simply left click and we've placed our first decal. I'm now going to fly to the X1, Y2 coordinates, and I'm going to place the second decal. Select it from the left menu, and simply left click on the center of that marker. Then we'll go to X2, Y1. I'm going to do this slightly quicker now, just so we can see the results. X2, Y2, X3, Y1. As you can see, I'm not taking a huge amount of time or actual care to make sure I've got these lined up perfectly. And we're on the last one, X3, Y2. And that's our last marker. So I'm just going to pan out now and we'll see how well we've done. As I say, you didn't see me take very long to do those at all. Now I have had a fair bit of practice, but it doesn't take long at all to get used to it. So there's a very, very small gap between the decals there, but nothing of any significance. And as we fly along here, you can see we've placed 6 decals there, and all of them are perfectly lined up. Now, you saw me going through the X1 Y1 decal naming format, so I'm just going to show you now an image which explains that format. So if you imagine this image is a decal, and it's going to be chunked up into 9 squares, into 9 chunks. The top left hand corner of any decal is always called X1, Y1. Now as we move across horizontally, you go to X2 and then to X3. And as we move down vertically, you go to Y1, then Y2 and Y3. So that's how the naming structure for decals works. To go back to Railworks, you'll remember from my previous YouTube videos that we also had a Leeds Station area. So let's quickly fly to Leeds Station and see how well we can get the two areas that we had perfectly joined up next to each other, so there was no overlap between Leeds Station and Leeds Arches. Let's see how well they line up. So I'm very, very quickly going to place these decals using the fly to and the center markers again, and the last one there. So there you go, 3 decals placed in probably less than 15 seconds. Just pan out a bit and we'll go to the start. Flying along here. Now there's 3 decals there. I'm not sure whether you'll have been able to spot where the joins were. And then this is actually where the join between, on the right here, Leeds Arches, on the left, lead station, and as you can see, that is almost spot on, and we can continue to fly across to that next section of decals. So as you can see, once you've created all the decals in bulk, you can actually place them very quickly, and my advice, my top tip, is that you use the center markers and actually don't use the corner markers, or only use the corner markers for confirming that you've got it right. If you do turn the corner markers on, you end up with a lot more markers appearing in the right hand window, and I tend to find it just clutters up the screen. So just use center markers and align the center of your cursor when you first select the decal with the center of the marker. That's the end of this tutorial.